All right, hello and welcome back to my studio. And as always, welcome and thank you for stopping by if you're new. Appreciate it. Um, so I took a short break from the last video where I was using the alizarin crimson to kind of clean up around the green and define the background a bit. And as promised, I think what we're going to start with is a little bit of blending with a blending mini mop, I guess is the technical term, according to the print. And I'm just going to, where I put that alizarin crimson on, kind of soften the brush strokes a little bit. When things are a little fuzzier again, it helps them make them look a little farther away. And since this is the background, that's kind of the overall effect I want. I think it's part of what makes the foreground, the green, pop a little bit more too, is the fact that the background is pretty fuzzy. And there's some really beautiful, beautiful little textures up here that just all my playing back and forth. And again, all that's on my YouTube channel, so if you want to see earlier iterations of this, you can watch it there. And how I got to this point. I also need to come up with a title for this. As I've mentioned previously, it is due in 2 weeks from today. Dry at the gallery. So I have got to wrap this guy up and make sure every brush stroke counts and I'm not just playing and screwing around. Which I genuinely enjoy. That's a big part of my painting process, is doing exactly that. But at a certain point, there's different stages of a painting require different approaches for me. Again, not speaking for every oil painter or neurodivergent artist for that matter, especially when it comes to neurodivergence. Every single one of us is unique. So generalizations generally don't apply. I want to soften that a bit. But I'm pretty pleased with how this has come out. I was thinking while I was looking at it, taking a break, about the ugly stages of painting, which if you're an experienced painter, you know is a thing. I remember when I had my own decorative painting business in the 90s and did faux finishing and murals, but more faux finishing. All painting has kind of an ugly phase where it just doesn't look finished, doesn't look right. And I would have customers just be kind of freaking out, like, what are you doing to my walls? And I would assure them that it would be fine when I was all done. Ooh, I'm blending the alizarin into some of the green and getting some cool effects. Okay, well that's also helping me plot the next move here, which is to bring in this deeper purple, which I think I've narrowed down to ultramarine violet. I think I've hit everything I want to get. But again, to make some of this green tangle look like it's further away, you can kind of see here is the red and green. This is basic color theory again. Red and green are opposites. So it mutes down both of them when I put them. Well, if they're next to each other, they set each other off, but I can also use the alizarin as a bit of shading, is the point I'm making, on the green, that it'll create a shadow effect. when applied correctly. This is also a chance for me to finish cleaning up some of those little smudge marks from several episodes ago. Yeah, I kind of like the alizarin crimson. Ooh, I like that. See how it kind of makes a shadow like it's going down? Okay, cool. I like it when it all comes together. It's exciting. Nothing worse than struggling with a painting. Well, yeah, actually there are things much worse than struggling with a painting, but there can be times where it's very frustrating. But again, I think it's just experience. You just got to work through it. Oh, and going back to the ugly stage of the painting, I have a feeling that's probably where a lot of beginning painters get a sense of feeling defeated and they can't do it because they don't know how to work through the ugly stage. And this thing, I mean, I think I'm up to like 17 or 18 videos about this. And each painting session is anywhere from 15 minutes to 45 minutes. So that's a lot of hours. And again, understanding where I can visualize where this will probably end up and the effects I can get. But you only learn that by doing that. So, okay, so I blended and I am happy with that. Yeah, this is coming together really well. I'm pleased. Okay, so I have my tiny little filbert out again. I always have to be careful with my rags because if they have wet paint on them, they end up, I get paint everywhere on me. Okay, so we're going to switch over to this purple color. And I have some glaze I'm putting down there to mix with it. And the point is I really like this deep shadow. Tiny little speck there. And I want to just build some of these up slightly. Not a lot. I don't want to go nuts here. But I have intended for this green to enter some of these dark areas, be emerging, coming or going, I'm not sure. Emerging from or going in these shadow areas of this kind of like nesty tangle. Nesty, not nasty, nesty, nest. Like a bird's nest. That's what it's looked like to me quite a bit. And again, this is a chance to define the both the background and the midground. And as I've stated, we're getting down to the final brush strokes here, so it'll be quite fun. I am just so autistically thrilled right now, bringing out these tiny, tiny little details back here with this brush. Deep autistic joy and satisfaction. So I love the discovery and the emergence process of a painting, how it comes together. But it's also exhilarating as it finishes too. So yeah, very very much fun for me. So I'm bringing this purple up the green here to make it look like it's coming out of the shadow down here. Same with this one. So really trying to build up some of the three-dimensionality of this, which in a two-dimensional artwork is an illusion. Trying to make things look three-dimensional through shadows and highlights, basically. And again, sometimes I really enjoy messing with as an abstract painter, part of what I enjoy is creating new worlds. The photographer in me loves the actual world, and I interact with it through photography and now video. Mostly wildlife. If you don't know, I have been doing wildlife videos, also part of my autistic joy. I have a very sensitive visual acuity and notice wildlife more than most people. That's comments I've heard my whole life. People are always shocked, like driving, what I point out. So again, one of my autistic traits that I absolutely love. I wouldn't want to give it up. Been complaining a lot too throughout this series that I was struggling with this panel because it's very absorbent, and it actually has finally developed kind of it's sealed enough now that the paint is actually moving on the surface a lot better, which makes it way more enjoyable for me as well. And I'm not doing the ends of all these yet. I'm probably gonna, like I did here, I'll do that in the most extreme areas, but I want to kind of build up the composition a bit, and then I'll probably blend it and just use what's on that blending brush to blend into the green where I want it to look like it's in shadow. I don't want to use too much paint on the green, because then I'm going to have to backtrack on that and make it green again. So again, I want to taking less risks this time because I'm on a schedule and I don't have time. If I do something I don't like, I don't really have time to correct it. So it leaves a lot less room for experimentation and playing. It's kind of what I'm doing right now, though, actually, with this. Again, this filbert I can use on both sides. I can twist it. It's quite fun. And I want to keep these light areas too, like in here. I want this to be kind of a warm area. Same with this orange back here. In fact, I'm probably, I shouldn't wave the purple around in the background. This gold yellow color back here, I kind of want to bring back in. That will probably be another painting session, at least another video. And this I want to make very dark, kind of like down here. So this whole thing hopefully will look like it's kind of going back in depth. All right, let me finish. I'm wandering all over here. Now that I have to edit videos, I'm paying more attention to how I paint instead of skipping all over the canvas. It's easier if I stay in one area. This is a wet alizarin crimson right here from the previous video. So now I'm kind of wet blending the purple in there with alizarin crimson. Just a smidge. Yeah, there's some really, really pretty texture in here. I like it. And I hope someone else does too and purchases it. Purchase? Buys it? Let's try that one. Because this is for a fundraiser for Access Gallery, so it's another important angle to all this is I do want someone to buy it. Okay. So now I want to do this and kind of darken all this, including the green. But I don't want to just make a big green smear either. Or blue, purple, whatever it is I'm doing here. So I just need to be careful. I want it to look like it's receding, but not lose definition. And again, I think the blending brush will help with that. Okay, so I'm going to start adding these purple shadow bits to the green to try to define it a bit more. Give it some depth, but not make it so I have to completely repaint the whole thing because it's no longer green. Actually, I think I'm going to take a second here and blend this. Where did I put my blending brush? Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm going to blend this dark purple before I move too far along on the green. So just softening it a little bit back here. So again, it looks like it's in the distance. And allowing it to smear a little bit and do weird things, because I enjoy that. I think the other thing with the this purple and the little bit of alizarin crimson I'm blending in here too on the green is it neutralizes it, makes it look kind of brown, and I think that kind of helps offset the vibrancy of the green and red background so much. It's very intense again because they're opposite colors. Okay. All right, so I'm pretty happy with this shadow building, a bit of this. Got to play up some of the texture in here a bit. And again, kind of define the green a little bit more too in the process. All right, once again, I'm going to take a break, give this a good stare, and let's see next. What am I going to do next? Oh, look how that pops now. Probably keep doing this. I think, again, since I need to wrap this up, I like what I've done with the background. We'll probably go back and forth a little bit today on that. But I think when I come back, I'll keep working on building the highlights and shadows in the green. Like I said, I kind of want to bring this warm orange. And this is actually Chinese Lake orange, but it's a very thin wash. And then there's some cadmium yellow on top. So without, again, redoing all the leaves, I'd like to bring in a little bit of that warmth. And probably a little bit in the background here. Though I like some of these areas that are a little cooler pink because of the different paints that I used. Building that. Yeah, so I think that's what's next, is defining all this green with shadow and highlights. So I'm going to take a break. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and if you could like the video, that would be awesome. And also comments. I need a title. Tell me what I should title this thing. All right, y'all. Thanks for stopping by.